Too late. Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Third and Long podcast. We don't have the Welsh Wizards with us today, so you've got Baby doing the intro. To my left or right, depending on what way you're looking at this, it is the wonderful Mr. Butler Henderson, and below me is the teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Perrins. How are you, boys?
Let Phil go first.
I've had like what's felt like the longest week ever. We had Ofsted this week at school, and I've been ill, so that's why I wasn't on Monday. And then I got a message halfway through the day saying, "Oh, by the way, Phil, I know you're ill, but Ofsted are coming in Tuesday and Wednesday. Danger of coming back into school." I was like, "Oh, fine. Just because like my job at school, I'm kind of like a middle leader, so I have to be around to do crap." And and then on Ofsted came in Tuesday and Wednesday, but then also Tuesday night we had parents' evening, which was just wonderful. So it's just been long on top of long on top of long, and it's honestly, I cannot stress, ladies and gentlemen who are listening at home, it has felt like the longest week ever, and I still have one more day left. One more day, and I mean. Oh, my hair just looks flat because I've just jumped in. I was just saying before I came on air, I've had a nap. Like, I've just had a nap. Gemma woke me up about like 10 minutes ago to wake me up from my nap. So I'm even more ill prepared than I would normally be for the show.
I mean, you're looking at the camera, so that's a start.
I know. Look at the eyes, man. You can't believe like I'm in my early 30s. I actually look like I've just aged 10 years. If I had no hair, I'd look like Shane. Like.
I mean, I have an advantage. I wear glasses on the screen, so you can't see the bags under my eyes.
Yeah, but like, if I wear some sunglasses, I'm going to look like Roy Orbison. Like, I'm just going to look just like a blind man from the 70s. Like,
yeah, that's mad. Yeah, another week done. Another week closer to Christmas. This time in 3 weeks, Christmas will be done.
I know.
There's him sat with a Christmas tree over my right shoulder. That's not decorated yet. It's been up there since I've been that busy this week. I haven't had a chance to decorate the tree.
Yeah, but it's like your fourth tree or something, isn't it?
So we've got one in the living room. We've got one down here in the office. We've got one in Ella's room at the top floor. When I say it's like a little 2-foot thing, and the boys have got.
I believe it was 3 foot. Was it not?
Oh, 3 foot, 2 foot. Who's counting between friends? That's 6 inches, remember?
I mean, if that's what you have to tell yourself.
Yeah, that's why I've got a 24-inch.
24-inch what?
Waist.
It's a television.
24-inch waist. That's what I've got.
Gentlemen, yeah. let's get our heads out of the gutter, okay?
Never.
Where do we want to start first?
I think Monday Night Football seems like a good place to start.
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
One of the most craziest games I have seen in a long time, and I did almost call this week's show "Deliver Me from Pick Sixes."
Yeah, well, I mean, somebody needs to, because Jameis is throwing them like nobody's business. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I saw the highlights of them. Yeah.
Okay. One was a really bad throw. One was, to be fair, really well read by the DB, and by the linebacker. I will stand by that. I don't think that was purely on Jameis Winston. It was a little bit telegraphed, but it was very well read by the DB. And the other one was, the last minute of the game, trying to really force it, which he didn't need to do. The guy of that, that experience shouldn't need to be forcing touch throws.
The first one, the bad throw, I feel like the guy was just watching him, waiting for him to throw, and then he just stood in front of the receiver and was like, "Thank you."
See, I don't call that one a bad throw. I think the second was a bad throw.
Oh, okay.
I think that one was literally. I think it was. He telegraphed it. He kind of like going, "That is my receiver, no matter what."
Yeah.
And he threw it, and the DB read it and stepped in it really well. The other one was the bad throw. It was underthrown and by an absolute mile.
Yeah.
And the third one was literally he tried to force it into a small window to try and make things happen. And it was never going to happen. But it was a absolutely crazy
But
game.
yeah, I feel like neither team actually wanted to win it because they both had it won at one point.
And had it lost at one point as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy went off. He had something to say to Denver and the Denver fans.
I quite liked after the touchdown when he did the little ear cup.
And he did that as well at one point, didn't he?
I mean, I couldn't really do it with the headphones on.
I mean, you didn't need to take the headphones off, mate. We kind of understood what you meant.
Yeah, he was doing the whole Hulk Hogan thing, like.
Yeah. I'm going to make a very controversial, and I think I said this on the group, or I might have said it somewhere. Jameis Winston, Cleveland have to roll with Jameis Winston next year. There isn't good enough quarterbacks in this league, or coming into the draft this year. I think maybe 2.
Yeah.
Most. I don't think it's good enough. They're going to be in that position to go. There's other positions they need. You know, you got Ashton Genty, who's probably going to be the number 1 running back in this class. Travis Hunter as well. They don't need a quarterback. Roll with Jameis Winston. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, go on.
I don't think they need to necessarily roll with Jameis Winston. I just think they need to roll with somebody that's not Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You were going to say something.
Yeah, so I actually will meet you both halfway there because I agree with both of you in their particular way. Cleveland as an organization cannot, under any, just because of his performance, because his media detractors, and just his overall etiquette in general, Deshaun Watson. I don't want to say I think he should lose his job because I'm not that type of person, but he cannot remain where he currently is in Cleveland on that particular heavy contract because he is eating up money for that organization, and they're kind of going to be stuck in no man's land, which means most of their teams are going to most of their players are going to be early on in their contract players. So early drafted, free agents, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounders, or undrafted free agents, maybe someone from the UFL, all these different things because of how much Deshaun Watson is on. And that's before there are other superstars on defense that are going to want to get paid. Jameis Winston, yes, I was thinking that he's probably the one to go forward with. Who actually I said that. He is probably who Cleveland will go forward with because I was just thinking earlier, who are actually the quarterbacks that are potentially going to be free agents in the offseason, and also on top of that, the free agent quarterbacks that are going to look to want to get paid. Because there's no way that Cleveland can afford to spend, so much on Deshaun and then so much on, say, a Justin Fields. Because they're both going to want to get paid, and you can't spend that much money on a player who's only going to be on the field one at a time. That's kind of it. So you've got
how much dead cap do they have if they cut him?
40 million or something like that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to have a quick look, I mean, I'm literally doing the show from my phone, so I haven't got my laptop in front of me. But it is an insane amount that he eats up. I remember earlier on in the off season where I think I found a graph of which players eat up the most salary cap for the different teams. I think we even talked about it on the show as well. If you go back in our archives, and Deshaun Watson literally eats up nearly a third of the salary cap for the Cleveland Browns.
Total, if they cut him now, it's 200 million over what's left of his contract.
Yeah, which is still quite a long time. It's 3-4 years.
3 years left on it.
Yeah. So again,
240 million guaranteed, wasn't it, over the 5 years?
At the time, it reset the market, didn't it?
Yeah, because it was fully guaranteed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Fields. I mean, by the way, the MVP of the league should actually be whoever Deshaun Watson's agent is, because after that scandal and then negotiating that contract, like, I want to find him. I want him to do all my negotiating for me.
Sam
But
Darnold.
that was my other one, Sam Darnold. He's coming. I mean, he's having a MVP caliber-esque year with a high-firing Minnesota Vikings. I mean, he's probably having the best the best season of his career. He's going to want to get paid regardless of where he goes. I would say Justin Fields. Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to retire at the end of this season. I think he's going to look to go somewhere else because he doesn't want to finish his season at the Jets. I mean, it's going to be like any other quarterback that Green Bay have had. He goes to the Jets and he kind of like finishes his nice career at the Vikings. I'm not saying A-Rod's going to go.
I don't think anyone will want A-Rod after this season.
I think you will find that there will be a team that desperately needs a quarterback. And whether or not that is something like the Raiders, because they will need a quarterback. And again, Tom Brady being a minor ownership, enticing him in. Aaron Rodgers, again, just having like another shot at like calling all these plays. I think that there will be teams that will take a 1-year contract with the Rodgers, whether or not it's like a bridging year. Or just to have some experience on the center with a young team around him.
I think Brady would rather wheel himself out. Yeah, he did say he wants to stay in New York.
He could stay to go to New York and go to the Big Blue.
Big Blue.
They are a quarterback away from being a head coach who can actually do something, away from being a good team.
Wait, are we talking about the Bills here?
No, the Bills are already a good team. I hate saying it, but no.
No. Just when you said like the team in blue in New York, and we're like, Buffalo's in New York. But yeah, I'm just saying. Sorry, Josh Allen. I'm still a bit salty from the weekend.
Well, you're gonna love my. Hang on, you picked him as your player of the week.
I did. I'm still salty. I also then bought a jersey. I've literally bought a jersey preempting them getting to the Super Bowl.
We all know
just when they play the Chiefs.
We all know it's going to be Bills Lions Super Bowl.
I bought a terrible towel.
Woo! Can you send us the link of where you got it from? And I might get me one as well.
Yes,
and we'll just roll it out every year. Like, if all three of us get a terrible towel every year when it's the Steelers and the Ravens, we literally could just like 3 on one chain. Like literally.
I got it off Amazon.
Can you send me the link?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
thank you.
To me as well, man.
Yeah, actually, ping it to us in the third and long group as well, because I know Shane's listening right now.
So Shane can get one too.
Yeah.
What impressed me about Denver from Monday was they trusted Bo Nix.
Yes.
Yeah, Nix played really well.
2 or 3 times he had to drop back deep into his end zone and still release an absolute stud.
I saw an inkling of the hype that Broncos fans actually saw in Bo when they drafted him, because in the offseason, the Broncos were very, very vocal about striking gold with who they got under center to be like their young quarterback under their rebuild essentially. And having watched the highlights and then watched him in the last couple of weeks, he does seem like the real deal. Like, he's consistent. He's got a head coach that's, competent, as much as that pains me to say, because I hate Sean Payton as a person. But like, he's a very, very capable, offensive-minded head coach who can take those quarterbacks and mold them into being consistently good. I mean, yes, he won the Super Bowl with an already great Drew Brees, but he is very good at working with quarterbacks and working with offensive play structures. And I think, if anything, he potentially could be maybe like coach of the year, considering where they were to where they are now.
Yeah, but it could be argued that he made Drew Brees great.
Yeah, I mean, it's that chicken and the egg kind of thing, isn't it? Like, Drew Brees was having a great career. He then goes to the Saints. He has a consistently great career. He also wins the Super Bowl. Sean Payton was kind of like having a good career. They both come across each other, And then you could probably even argue that Hurricane Katrina is a reason for why both ended up being great. Like, it's because that was the thing that brought them together. If you've seen like the America's Game kind of like video, where Drew wasn't even going to go to New Orleans until he actually visited the place and went like, I actually want to be in this area because I want to rebuild this community.
Yeah, exactly. What has impressed me about Sean Payton, though, And it was obvious during the preseason that they brought some of the Oregon plays in to help Bo Nix settle and get the playbook. And it's part of that now Broncos playbook. There's a good 15-20% of Oregon plays in that Bo Nix was excellent at.
I mean,
And this
Nick's
is what's
leaving.
helped him go. You see where he moves out of the pocket and rolls.
Nick's leaving the Ducks didn't exactly hurt them, did it?
No.
Only unbeaten team in college.
That's mad. Absolutely mad. We've already
I mean, what a great program that the Ducks are. I mean, I have a Ducks jersey. What a great program that they have. And remember, like earlier on in the week, I can't remember which one you guys sent it to me. It was a quote saying that young NFL teams let down young quarterbacks. Like
Kevin O'Connell, organizations letting down young QBs before young QBs can let down an organization.
Yeah, and that was a perfect quote. And then you compare it to what we're talking about right now, with they brought in plays that he was comfortable and effective at using into that organization. That shows, one, that they're willing to work with him to then kind of build up his confidence, but also they think that highly of him that they want to use what he did in college and bring it to the pro leagues because he's so good at doing it for the rest of the team. It could be very easy for them to come in and say, like, yeah, that would happen in college, but like this is the big leagues now. We're going to do our playbook because this is how we want to operate. Instead, they've gone, right, here's 20% of what you were excellent at doing. Let's bring it into our play. Let's bring it into our playbook, sorry. And that's brilliant. Like, again, it's another thing that I don't want to give Sean Payton credit for, but I am going to. That's a brilliant way to work in Bo Nix that we haven't seen happen with a coaching scheme with a young quarterback really in the last 5, 6, well, not since the draft class before Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence was shafted in that. He went to Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer completely ruined him, like for that first year. And we haven't really seen coaches putting that much effort into kind of like accommodating that skill set to those quarterbacks, possibly because of the pressure that is the NFL. But Sean Payton is, again, a really great coach.
Unfortunately. Right, let's roll on to plays of the week.
Myers boots it away, and here is the former All-Pro kick returner for Minnesota, making his Jet debut, Kane Wanwu. He's already housed 3 of them in his career. He's going to get a block, and welcome to the Jets with a big-time. Right now, maybe not as quick. 3 tight ends. Baker Mayfield end zone. High, one-handed, hauled in, and that's a touchdown for Mike Evans.
Recognizes inside leverage by J.C. Horn. He just throws it up to the big fella, and look at the feet. Look at the one hand, Mike Evans. Wow, are you kidding me? What a catch.
Shakir completed. This is behind Cooper, who brought it in. Pitched it back to Allen, who's going to go to the goal line and get in. No! Spectacular touchdown.
A lot of moving in the pocket that's unnecessary.
3rd and 11. Down the middle. Mims! He's gone!
Oh!
Touchdown, Denver! Marvin Mims walks it in.
Josh Allen's breaking people's heart by scoring 12 points in one play in fantasy.
Mate, Jerry Judy broke mine. My other half beat me because she had Jerry Judy and he had 40 bloody points, and she needed 30 plus to beat me or something. Sake. Cheers. So the Welsh Wizard took Marvin Mims. It's almost like he knew we were going to talk about how good Bo Nix was.
What a throw!
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In double coverage as well.
Dissected that coverage. Perfect throw. I took. I said to the guys on the group chat, I'm not taking this to wind you up or have a go at you or anything like that. I'm literally taking this play because I wouldn't care if it was against me or against any other team. I just think that was an outstanding bit of play. It was.
It was good awareness by both Allen and Cooper. I'll give him that.
Yeah, and just strength for Cooper not to get dragged down and still managed to find Allen, who ran it in for an absolute. It was a brilliant little Superman play, and it shows that two's getting together now, and it's getting a bit scary in Buffalo. And they've already wrapped up the East.
It's getting a little real o'clock in the AFC now. The teams are actually going like, I actually really hope. And it's weird considering their records, but I genuinely think teams are going to be more apprehensive getting the Bills than they would be the Chiefs. Yeah. Which is weird to say because the Chiefs are going for a three-peat, but
I know.
The Bills just look like a steep. I don't want to jinx it, but they almost look like a team of destiny. This is going to be their time. And we don't see that often in the NFL sometimes, where sometimes it's a crapshoot. Sometimes you kind of they've been the best, but I genuinely feel like this is it. This has to be it. This is their last chance, essentially. I feel
there's two teams that are at the moment this is your chance, guys. This is your chance. One in the AFC, one in the NFC.
Yeah,
Buffalo and Detroit.
Yep. Baby Hope, you took Mike Evans.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mike Evans. I have him in quite a few fancy teams, and then he goes and pulls off a one-handed catch for a touchdown. I mean, how can you not love the guy? And you put it in the chat just before this game started, the way Chris Godwin announced to him that he was the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Love that.
Yes.
Absolutely love that. Walter Payton has been, I've not had a chance to have a proper look at it yet. It only got announced literally about an hour and a half before the show, so I don't think you gentlemen had a chance to have a look at it either. No parents.
No, I haven't.
We'll cover that a bit more next week, I think, and we'll go from there, along with covering Heisman Trophy finalists as well. Mr. Perrin, you took the Jets return.
Yes,
no,
I love a special teams play. It's been my goal. I think it feels like it's been my goal the last 2 years, just to find some form of special teams play or a field kick or just anything of that particular. But as soon as it happened, I don't think I was the first to say that to dibs it. But I just saw it and oh my god, I think it might even be Baby. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's because we haven't really seen since the rule change this year as many kick return touchdowns. I don't think. Have we seen 2, 3?
I know Seattle had one against us.
Yes, I mean, come on, our special teams are trash. But it's 3?
I think we had one too.
Our special teams have been trash for a long time, mate. I can't actually think that. Let's call it as it is. But it was brilliant. It was a really, really brilliant. And it's his fourth touchdown. So his fourth kick return touchdown.
Yeah.
So he's a bit of a special, which again, brilliant. Phenomenal. And what was the results on that poll?
We don't drop that as a poll. The poll of players of the week was won by Josh Allen.
Woo!
Yeah, so as you might guess, Mr. Perrin took Josh Allen this week. Yeah. But he's MVP.
Yeah.
Don't need to say any more than that. He is MVP. Baby Hope, you went with...
I went with... I can't remember. Oh, Russell Wilson, 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards.
Yeah, I took Jerry Jeudy, 235 yards from 9 receptions, plus a 70-yarder. Broke my heart because I was up against him in 2 fantasy leagues. Cheers. Once against by the half, and then once against some random. Oh my god, that's not fair. And Mr. Harris took Saquon Barkley. Probably because broke his heart, and all the other Ravens' hearts on Sunday night. Let's roll over to.
This is the news in 60.
Yeah, as always, news in 60. Al-Shaair has been banned for 3 games following that nasty late hit on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has now been sent to or been put on IR by the Jags. They say to help him recover from his concussion and to help recover from his shoulder injury that he suffered earlier on in the year. It means the Jags are now going to roll with Mac Jones for the rest of the season. That's going to help his career no end. 24 hours after the defeat to the Buffalo Bills, 49er boys, you've lost both your running backs, Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We now have RB1, RB2, and RB3 all on IR.
Mm-hmm.
Mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad.
So we've got our fourth string rookie running back as our RB1 for the rest of the season.
Yay! Strength and conditioning. Yay!
Good luck with that one, gentlemen. Good luck.
And this is why, boys and girls, you should always do your stretching before and after any form of physical activity.
Yes. Have you seen? I will show you the clip in a minute. There is a docu-series coming out about Aaron Rodgers, coming to Netflix on the 17th of December. Oh my God, help us! I please hope not. So this time last year, a certain Welshman decided to quit rugby and enter the international pathway. So I took obviously Lewis Rees-Zammit. The Aussie, who's probably even bigger than Lewis Rees-Zammit, Jordan Petaya, I hope I pronounced that right, decided to leave the sport. He's had 2 World Cups. He is a double-figure touchdown scorer for the Wallabies. He is joining the International Pathway Program in January. He is going to be an absolute... I've seen some of his clips of him playing rugby. Good luck trying to bring this dude down. He is an absolute beast. I think we have to start with you boys before we go into Al-Shaair, because I'd love to know what Mr. Penn thinks of that hit. But let's talk about the Niner boys first.
Well, I mean, it's just the story of the season, isn't it? If we have everyone fit, we're a top 3 team, but we've not had everyone fit for the entire season.
Yeah, this. I mean, it's not. I mean, let me get my words right. I've said before on the show multiple times about how the 49ers actually operate in the off season. And I think a lot of that does come down to how the team is playing this season, with a lot of outside detractors, players, are they staying, are they going, poor preparation, Kyle Shanahan being complete control of the offensive structure when, he probably should have his own OC. The defensive side is horrendous in terms of the coaching and the schemes. Special teams is appalling. We're actually seeing the effects now of not having a first round pick for the last 3 years. And it's we've got a lot of players on the wrong side of the aging curve, like we do. George Kittle's going to be 32 next season. Trent Williams, I mean, God bless Trent Williams, and it came out what's unfortunately happened, with him and his partner losing their little baby girl, which is horrible, absolutely horrible. Like the same with with Ward as well, earlier on in the season. It's just lots of horrible things all happening in the same place all at once, and you can't just put it down to bad management, I should say, from what the 49ers are struggling on the field. There's probably some bad juju. I
just think we should use this opportunity to say our thoughts go out to everyone in Northern California at the moment with that massive earthquake. And
yes, yeah.
So
yeah,
I know.
I was on Twitter earlier, and there's a couple of people that both me and you follow, baby. Saying that they had on their mobile phones, they literally had tsunami warnings. And then 6.6 earthquake warning, just all this kind of weird thing. I was like, oh my God, I hope everything's all right on the West Coast.
I saw somebody. I know some people have had a lot of their things destroyed, so I just want to say my thoughts go out to them at this time.
So it's not just the 49ers that are struggling; it's the whole it's literally the whole San Fran area.
It's just because you're talking about bad juju in the Bay Area at the moment, and
what I will shoot down though is I still think, like in hindsight, how blessed we've had in terms of the 49ers in the last 5-6 years, in terms of how success. Yes, we haven't won a Super Bowl when we should have, but I think the talk of like the 49ers trading away Kyle next year to like the Bears or whatever, I think that's nonsense.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, and then there's just weird things going around, like especially surrounding like the Bears. It's like today was when I was scrolling through social media, and it says like Jeff Bezos is looking to buy the Bears. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, like what? So I don't see us getting rid of Kyle. I think Kyle gets at least another season, maybe even 2. I think the spotlight should be more on John Lynch, more so than Kyle, because some of his.
John Lynch should go to Chicago, and Ryan Paul should go to San Fran.
I think if Lynch goes anywhere, I'll be back to ESPN. To be honest.
Yeah, I think I either go back to ESPN or he'll look to move up inside the NFL organization. I'm not saying he's going to want to try and be commissioner, but he's a very aspirational guy, and I think he would want to take that next step. I've been a GM. What else can I do in the league? And I think that would be his natural, or what he would want to be his natural progression. So I just think like the John Lynch spotlight needs to be on him. He's from his horrendously poor draft picks to his questionable contract extensions, and I think that might be more on him, because when you think about like the 49ers as an organization, we've been critical in the past of the Yorks not willing to spend money, but under John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, Jed has spent a lot of money that he hadn't done previously under Jim Harbaugh. They hadn't at all. And so they spend an obscene amount of money in comparison. And I think, the Yorks are going to be like, well, where's the return on our investment? We're supposed to be a Super Bowl winning team. Their family have won 5 Super Bowls. Why have we not added at least 3 more in this time?
Can you blame Jed for not reaching to his pocket when there's a massive internal power struggle going on?
What, in terms of when he was between Bulky and Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you've got like Trent Bulky, who was a notorious yes man, and I've heard the same things that's going on in Jacksonville, what he was doing in San Francisco, in terms of like being very, very coy and sweet with the owners, as opposed to being really difficult for the head coaches. I think he's that particular type of administrative person. So I can kind of see Jed going like, well, this is what I've been told about, Jim Harbaugh. This is what Bulky has been telling me. Yeah, I'm not going to really invest, blah, 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 blah. But then because he then hired his own people after that and probably learned from his mistakes, I think that's why he's a lot more willing to spend it, because he's like, I think that's the case. But going back onto it, it's not necessarily about spending money on like a power struggle. He spent like hundreds of millions. We're talking about this as like multi-billionaires, and they own multi-billionaire franchises. But millions are still millions, regardless of if you have, regardless of how much money you have in your pocket or in your bank account. And they're going to want replenishing. Like they're going to want some form of like feedback on that investment. So that's I think it will be the 49ers focus in the offseason and next year. But yeah, this bad juju, bad karma. I think they should probably like get a witch doctor from like New Orleans and the Bayou, and literally just exorcise some demons. Because I think that even symbolically, I think that would do all right for the players' consciousness, because this has just been a horrible season, and I'm getting tired of talking about it because it's depressing me at the moment. Like it is. I'm wearing black for a reason. And it's not because I'm like just a little emo boy.
So let's move on then. So I would like to get to know your feelings and your thoughts, because I've heard so many people of so many different controversies. Colin Howard, people on ESPN, people on ABC, Pat McAfee, Tom Brady.
McAfee, it's not that hard to say.
It is.
Pat McAfee, who's joining WWE now full time in January, so that's going to be interesting for College Game Day.
How do we feel, Mr. Parents, about that hit on Trevor Lawrence? I haven't actually spoken to you about it yet.
it's always been like a grey area because like the inception of like the quarterback slide was to protect both defense and offense, as in, you're protecting the quarterback to not get absolutely destroyed, but you're also sending out a warning that, obviously the defender is there to stop any form of play. Now, what we've seen in the past 10, maybe even 15 years is teams using that quarterback slide rule to their advantage, where they're like doing fake outs and faking out the defensive side, which again, it's not illegal, it's just very frowned upon and not sportsmanlike. But in saying that, there was nothing really faking out about Trevor Lawrence and his dive. I don't think Al-Shaair is that type of player, but at the same time, and I hate to use this phrase because Shane uses it quite a lot, it's not ballet. Okay, players are obviously wearing protection. There's certain rules to protect them, and Trevor Lawrence got hit, and he was out of the game. And I fully understand that it was a very, very harsh hit, but dangerous. But that's also expected in the game. I don't know. Like, I can see both sides of it, but I can also see why both sides are angry.
Do you think 3 games is enough, or is a fair punishment?
No, I think that's excessive. I think he should have probably just been evicted from the game, with a fine.
Maybe.
Like, I generally do think 3, like, it wasn't malicious. He wasn't trying to hurt Trevor Lawrence because he's not, but he's also trying to stop the play. And Trevor's already slowly going down, but Al-Shaair's already committed to the tackle. But it's irresistible force versus a movable object kind of thing. It's two forces coming straight at each other, and things like this do happen. And I think I don't agree with the 3-match ban. I actually think eject him out of the game, internal fine, and then we move on. I'm sorry, but like, there's been worse hits that I've seen in the NFL where players have almost like ended their careers off the back of it.
Like, I've got to get a baby because he looks like his arms about to fall off.
I just disagree with everything Phil just said.
Yeah.
What?
So I don't think 3 games is enough.
Jesus Christ.
I remember Al-Shaair as a 9 choking Tom Brady, so I think he does have a bit of a streak in him.
Oh, I didn't say he didn't have a streak.
Well, with the Tennessee when he was out of bounds.
I also think that Al-Shaair had not committed to the tackle by the time Trevor Lawrence was going down, and I think he could have pulled out if he wanted to. So I think it should be the rest of the season and a hefty fine. That's
3
my
games
opinion, though.
So definitely a massive fine. 3 games. That's it. I don't know his contract off the top of my head. He's probably looking at £1 million loss in game earnings, at least.
I think he's only signed for this season. I think he only signed a year contract, didn't he? Because he was a free agent.
Yeah, I don't know his contract. I haven't got his contract details to hand. 3, maybe it's a little bit excessive. 2, maybe 1, and then if you get done again, then put me in 3 games. Not necessarily for like that kind of hit again, but he's had in week 12. There was a Tennessee player. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Tony Pollard. He was already beyond the white, and he literally slammed him through the back. And so he has got that in him. And like Ollie said, he tried to choke out Tom Brady last season in the Bucks or the season before. Can't remember which it was.
I was going to say he's just climbed climbed into the stands to choke out Tom Brady.
I also felt like his apology was basically, "This isn't my fault."
Yeah, I thought that as well. But at the same time, I don't think it's a 3-game ban.
The thing is, though, the big question is, in my opinion, he hadn't committed to the tackle when Trevor Lawrence started the slide, in my opinion. So I think he had a chance to pull out and chose not to, which is the big
it could have been. I think it
issue
could have been.
for me.
I mean, even if he'd fallen forward, he could have, because he's then still lent with his arms, still lent with his head. He could have almost going, right, he's going to slide. I'm going to try and somehow move myself to the side and put my hand down to stop him making. But he then decided, right, I'm going to full on commit and I'm going to hit this guy in the head square on. He went to take him out. I'm sorry, he went to take him out.
That's why I think 3 games is enough. If he'd have made any kind of move to try and not go straight for his head, then maybe, but he was looking to take him out.
Yeah, I think it was a cheap shot personally, and that's why I think it's a cheap shot.
I like Al-Shaair. I thought he was a great niner.
I think he'll be back on the Niners next year.
Right.
After that, I'm not sure I want him.
Are you ready for a bit of cringe-worthy 1 minute and 48 seconds, gentlemen?
Always.
Do we have to watch this?
Yes. It is
I live between 2 worlds of the extroverted
1, 2, 3, dominate!
and an introverted lover of silence. I'm trying to beat back Father Time and the expectations.
Aaron Rodgers ain't for everybody.
Rodgers has shared controversial and crazy conspiracy theories.
It just feels like you're either for him or against him.
Losing friendships, family, it was heartbreaking.
Here come the Jets. Rodgers has something to prove. It is on. Protection breaks. Down goes Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has officially tore his Achilles.
It's catastrophic.
Is it time for him to retire?
What does the future hold for Aaron Rodgers?
I'm coming back to do it all. What's the risk of playing? That's not normal. People getting to see behind the curtain.
Have you thought about going into politics?
Once I started my spiritual journey, everything shifted. The metamorphosis is happening.
Most people are not doing the walking.
I'm not most people. I'm trying to find what a new edge is. There's football legacy.
Rodgers, a touchdown!
And then there's character legacy.
It was gonna be the big dog with me!
When that ride comes to a stop, who are you gonna be?
Just before we start about that, I want to just bring up some comments. So Drew has said, "Evening, boys. How's your haircut, Phil? I hope
better than yours, John Jr.
I hope it recovers soon, mates."
Drew, I mean, it's a good job I like Drew because, like, Drew gives me so much crap, and I'm like going, oh, I wish I could give him some crap back, but like, he's got really cool hair, and he's always looked awesome, and he looks like a rock star, and then like going, oh my god, I'm so jealous. So it hurts me, Drew, when you come at me, bro, because it's hurtful because you're just so cool, and I've got nothing to come back with.
I love how it's been a week and Phil is still getting roasted for his haircut.
You know what? Like, no, at school, everyone's fine with it. Like, everyone's fine with it. Like, oh, Mr. Page, you look so much. One of the girls in my form literally said, like, oh, so it makes your face look thinner. And I was like, oh, cheers. Like, thanks for that weird backhanded compliment. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the most arrogant man on earth.
Yeah. So for the people who haven't seen that video, I'll show it on our social medias later on. It is Aaron Rodgers' 3-part docu series Enigma, which airs on the 17th of December on Netflix. I'm not going to be able not to watch that.
Yeah,
I'll be watching. Phil, Drew has come in saying, "Oh, Phil, I love you, brother. Just as cool, bro. Takes one to know one."
But thank you, Drew. I knew you'd want me. I'm actually really, really locked in because as soon as it opened up, I kind of like he's on the bed and the woman's literally just binging something on. I was like, that literally is exactly what I thought it would be. Just like a weird. The one thing that I did find really, really concerning is when you got Robert Kennedy Jr. talking, and he said, "Have you thought about going into politics?" And we're like, "Oh my good God." Aaron Rodgers is going to end up becoming mayor of New York, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
it's
remember,
literally.
so somebody who was running for president did want Aaron Rodgers to be his vice president. That did happen.
It wasn't
I can
Trump.
imagine that.
No,
It
that
might be
was true.
Trump.
That actually happened.
Yeah, I can remember it. I mean,
So I'm
the only
guessing it was to do with that.
there's
Yeah.
only 5 seconds of that video I actually worried about or felt sorry for him. And that was that time when he's in the chair after he's had surgery, and you can just see his hand in his face, and he looked dumbfounded and literally broken. I did feel really sorry for him there. Interesting look at your laptop, Mr. P.
I tell you what, more so than the content, because we know exactly what we're going to get with it. We're going to get Aaron Rodgers, like, I'm like a hippie guy and people misunderstand me and I hurt my tendon and like, we know what we're going to get with it. But what's actually going to be fascinating, and the number one reason for why I'm going to want to watch it, is to see how other people in his life or other people that he interacts with actually tolerate him and are around him. Because if he says something crazy and kooky like, hey, 9/11 was an inside job, and you just see like people just go, oh, okay, hey, did you know anti-vaccines, like any kind of like controversial thing that he's going to come out with that's slightly hippy dippy, I want to see how people around him actually react to that, especially at the Jets, especially, when they were talking about him in group, because they will talk about his career in group. You cannot talk about Aaron Rodgers and not talk about his career in Green Bay first. Like, you can't. And like his relationship with his family, and he said like in the trailer, how he's lost family members, how he's lost friends. And I'm going like, wow, Jesus Christ, I want to hear more about, like, because we know about him and we know stories about him from like, things that's been leaked in the media, but I actually want to see firsthand how people in his life actually deal with Aaron Rodgers and how they tolerate him, because that's what I'm more fascinated by.
Yeah, completely. To see a different side of him, not the media portrayed.
Can I say what I think? I think it's going to come out, and we're all going to think
he's gay.
God, he's arrogant.
Oh, we know that already.
Yeah, but I just think it's going to. I just don't. I think he's probably been an executive producer of this and watched this, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to come across so well in this, and we're going to come across. It's going to be like, God, he's arrogant."
Yeah, Mr. P.
I don't think it's going to be the same PR spin that we saw with, because like when we think about like the big documentaries over the last 5 years, we had The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan kind of story, and yes, it was produced by him, it was funded by him. Of course, it's going to be a great story about how the great Michael Jordan was great, and everyone else was just happy to live in his, his glory. And the David Beckham one that came out, I think the David Beckham one was a little bit more scathing on him, but I don't think
I've not seen
David Beckham one's really, really good, and you don't have to be a Manchester United fan to really appreciate it. Because I went into watching it going, "What's David Beckham?" Whatever, and I came out of it going, "Actually, David Beckham one seems like a really, really decent guy." Again, produced it, had final control over what the video was going to be, but at the same time, it went in a direction, like in terms of where it went into like his media life, his personal life. It went into that a little bit more than Michael Jordan allowed, because I always found in like The Last Dance, sorry to go off topic, but it's relevant, where the whole issue around Michael Jordan's dad being murdered was just kind of referenced and then just moved on.
Yeah,
when the story itself is actually,
it was kind of brushed under the carpet, wasn't it?
Yeah, considering like all the huge conspiracy theory that came out around that time, then Michael suspiciously just rejoining the NBA and getting a fattening contract at the Bulls again. That was, I mean, I'll tell you off air because I don't want to say anything on air because it's all alleged, if you don't know already. But I'm fascinated to see how much Aaron Rodgers will allow people to see his failings as well as some of the great things that he's done, because he's done TV, like he's been a guest host on various like game shows. When he's been on like SNL, he can do, he's quite charismatic when he wants to be, but this is hopefully going to be, it's like a peek behind the curtain, and not just like, oh, his private life, but like, what is he actually as a real person? Like I said, how people react to him is actually going to be more telling than how he presents himself.
Yeah, completely and utterly agree on that one. Right, enough of week 13. Let's roll on to week 14. Our predictions this week have been chosen by our illustrious Baby Hope to my left. Yep.
The great Baby Hope.
Baby Hope is storming away with this one. He is 8 points ahead of Mr. Perrins, who is a point ahead of Shayna, who is also a point ahead of me. Yeah, I'm last. 2 times reigning champion, I'm last. Shocking. Got to pull my finger up my ass very quickly. Mr. Baby Hope, would you like to tell us the games and your reasons why you're choosing them, my friend?
So I've started with Kirk Cousins' revenge game, going back to the bank.
Yep.
Then we've got the battle of 2 very poor quarterbacks with Mac Jones versus Will Levis.
Jags win this weekend. I'm wearing my Jones jersey on Monday.
We've then got NFC West matchup between, to be honest, I think if Seattle win, it could be the division over.
Yeah.
And then
They only played each other a couple of weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And then I chose Raiders Bucks just because Aiden O'Connell looked good last week. Can he put in a repeat performance?
Was it to please this gentleman below us?
No, it was not to please. I just wanted, I was looking for another quite close game, and I think if Aiden O'Connell plays like he did last week, then the Raiders have a chance in this.
Okay, let's start off with the Falcons heading over to Minnesota. Mr. Perrins.
Oh God, Falcons have actually hit some pretty good form at the right time, but I'm gonna go Minnesota because I think Sam Darnold has more to play for than Kirk Cousins, and I think that's what it comes down to. And JJ as well has also got a lot to play for. People are kind of like sleeping on him this year.
Yeah, I'm doubling down on what you said. Personally, I just think the Vikings a little bit ahead of Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta are going to be in the postseason as well anyway. But yeah, I think it's the Vikings to win, especially at M&T Bank. Baby?
It's US Bank. M&T Bank is Ravens. But yeah, I'll make it unanimous.
So go and put some money on Vikings. That's how it always used to go.
You mean put some money on the Falcons?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, we're all going to be
always used to go. Yeah. Jacksonville against Tennessee. I've gone for Tennessee at this one. I do believe they aren't exactly the best quarterbacks in the world, those two. And I saw one of them firsthand several times. And I even saw him get injured as well. Twice.
Yes, we did.
So yeah, I'm gonna go for Tennessee, but I will be wearing my Mac Jones jersey if the Jaguars win on Sunday. I am going for Tennessee for the win. Mr. P.
I'm surprised you're not going to wear your Tebow jersey, mate, because Tebow also played for the Jags as well. So that's like it's a nice little homecoming.
Mate, it's like a dress on me.
Wait, no, I ordered the size for you that fit. Is it not a small? Was a medium?
It is a small, but it's a big ass small on me.
Okay, all right, then fine. I forgive you. I'm gonna go. I think the Jags are so poor, and losing to Trevor Lawrence as probably like. I know when I talk about teams, obviously we focus on like the quarterback position, but like Trevor Lawrence is such a big component of that team, regardless if they're playing well or not. Yeah. And Mac Jones is coming into a situation where, let's be honest, it didn't end well for him in New England. He's sitting behind Trevor Lawrence. I don't really know what he looks like. I didn't see him in the off season, so I don't really know what kind of form or how he's looking under this particular playbook. Maybe Doug Peterson can get something out of him. He's done it before, where he's lost a quarterback and then the backups come in and done really, really well. But then Tennessee, I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say Jacksonville win.
I hope you're listening, big fella.
Shane has come in saying Tebow.
Was that terrible towel?
I can't wait to buy a terrible towel now. Next season's going to be off the hook.
I am going to side with Mr. Butler Henderson on this. I think Will Levis has a bit more to play for, as I think he's playing for his job. And I think Tennessee's defense is marginally better than Jacksonville's. And at the moment, Westbrook Akina is having a career season.
He is leading the league in receptions over 20 yards.
Yeah.
Madness. He's leading the league. Who would have thought that? Baby Hope, would you like to lead the way with Tennessee, Seattle,
Shane,
Arizona?
get that off my screen. So just for a bit longer, I'm just going to do this. While I talk about this game, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, go for it.
So this happened a couple of weeks ago, and it was a prediction game, and I predicted Arizona, and Seattle won. So I am going to do exactly the same thing again and predict the Cardinals. This time at home, I think they're better than the Seahawks, and I think they need it more than the Seahawks to keep the division alive. And if the Niners beat the Bears, I think that also puts the Niners right in the mix.
Mr. Perrins.
I gotta agree with Baby, 100%. I mean, I hate every team in the NFC West that's not San Francisco. But if there's one team that I hate a little bit less than the others, it's the Cardinals, because they've always seemed like the little engine that could. And they're having a really, really good season.
More like the little engine that couldn't most of the time.
Exactly. They're like the little engine that literally, constantly didn't have any drivers. There were signal problems, like all this kind of problem. Like, but I really want the Cardinals to win just for like selfish reasons.
Fair enough. I am going for a three-peat. I'm doubling down. Tripling down in this case. I reckon Arizona at home probably just got a little bit more than Seattle, I think. And I don't really know which Smith's going to turn up from 1 week to the next. Personally. And
Shane's given his predictions, but I'll put them up once. Shane says a little poem about the Raiders. I mean, he can't really because it's winter now, so I don't know. There's many autumn winds still about.
Go on then, parents.
It's more of a metaphor, okay? It's more of a metaphor than the actual season, okay? The autumn wind is a Raider pillaging just for fun.
Who are you going for, Mr. P?
Oh, I'm going to go for the Raiders, sorry. When am I ever going to bet against the Raiders? Like, let's be honest.
I am completely and utterly going to go against you.
Fine. Raider Nation, baby. Woo!
Buccaneers are just a better team. Baker Mayfield.
Any given Sunday, Hendo. Any given Sunday.
True. That's very, very true.
Shane has gone Vikings, Titans, Cardinals, Bucks. I have gone Vikings, Titans, Cardinals. And I'm going for the Buccaneers and rolling with Baker and the boys.
Baker doesn't. Coming up. I can see it. He's replying to the comment. I can see it. Right, let's roll on to the rest of the games this weekend. I think the game of the week is tonight. I
agree.
Do.
Yes.
I'm contemplating going to get a couple of hours sleep, watching it, and then go get a couple more hours sleep before I go to work. I concentrate because I think it's going to be probably the game of the week.
The other game that's piquing my interest is actually America's game of the week, the Tom Brady game, and that is the Buffalo Bills at the LA Rams.
Yeah,
I think that is going to be closer than we think.
Possibly.
I mean, LA's defense looks really good. I'm still not entirely convinced you know how I feel about Shaq Padford. And I don't think
they're a season weapons to throw the balls to.
Well, exactly. Like when you've got, I mean, I'm not saying you put them both in double coverage, but he's very limited because he's either going to go 20-yard slants or he's going to be going for posts. And I think if you could stop him from going to Puka and Cooper. I think you could stop that offense down really, really quickly while their defense is actually quite constricting, which is going to be quite terrifying in a couple of years because they found their Aaron Donald replacement essentially. Yeah.
Oh my God,
whilst at the same time, I mean, we did spend the first 5-10 minutes of the show waxing the Buffalo Bills, so I think it will be closer than most people think, but it's not going to be a close game if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I still expect the Bills to win by 2.
Another game I almost picked as a prediction game but didn't is Jets or Dolphins, an AFC East matchup.
I tell you who's on the hot seat, McDaniel.
I don't think so. Tua's been out for too long for them.
No, but not necessarily like in terms of like Tua, but there's been a lot of, and you must have seen this as well, about like a lot of rumors going around how the players see Mike McDaniel as a head coach and a leader.
Yeah,
no, I've not seen anything about this. Actually,
rumor that's come out that they're in the change room and he was there shivering in the change room.
Yeah, he's standing by a heater. And they're just like waiting in silence, like during like a half time, and he's literally just like shivering. He can't get his words out, so, like, and he's just sitting there. And again, obviously, I'm not criticizing anyone for being cold. That's ridiculous. But you know,
this man's not meant to be a leader.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm not saying you have to literally just like lose your fingers to frostbite and make yourself ill with like pneumonia or anything like that. But when players start to see character faults in their leaders, and we see it in teaching, by the way, we're constantly told to kind of like be humble but be firm. So as soon as like a kid can see, and it's like in coaching, as soon as kids can see through you and see how to abuse your position, as in whether or not it's like not do any work, get under your skin, push your buttons. As soon as they see that, that's when you've lost a class. And it's the same with coaching. As soon as the kids down their tools, you know that you're practically done. And I'm not saying the Dolphins are down in their tools, but they've obviously lost Tua. But then obviously, I'm not going to blame them for losing their QB1 because Tua is their offense in many, many respects. It's the engine. But I think some of his actions haven't really endeared him long term. Like that initial buzz of like, oh, look at this quirky kind of like nerdy guy drawing up sick plays for Tyreek to run. But then as that's gone on, we're 4 years into this experiment.
Yeah.
And they've had one playoff run.
Yeah.
So I saw a fact. The Dolphins are 0-10 when playing in temperatures below 40 Fahrenheit. So that's 4 Celsius over here.
And that is marginally worse than San Francisco.
That's under Mike McDaniels. That is an issue as well. Because for a fact, unless you're going to get the number 1 seed, you're going to have to go to Buffalo. You're going to have to go to New York. You're going to have to go to Kansas.
You're going to have to go to New England. You're going to have to go to New York, Buffalo, and New England every year, and you're guaranteed to get at least one of those in December.
Exactly. Like November, December. I mean, we've just seen in like the last 3 weeks just how bad, weather is in the Northeast. And the 49ers were playing in a snowball the weekend. And shockingly, we got absolutely trounced. But like, this must be almost like a bit of a trend where hot weather teams in the NFL don't necessarily do as well long term as opposed to cold weather teams. Like if you look at like the Patriots, you look at like teams like the Chiefs, the Steelers before them in the 70s, like these kind of like cities that are cold, mostly cold, windy cities, and football is an autumn winter sport. So, if the NFL season was played in the summertime, you'd probably go like, well, Kansas, it can go cold, it can go really, really hot. They'll probably still be quite good. The Florida and California teams, they'll be really quite good as well. But like, it's a winter sport. So Dolphins aren't built for that. And there's a reason why they've not been relevant since the 70s.
You've got a game. You are going to, or you are hosting Carolina without your
Chicago.
Sorry, I'm literally looking at a Carolina Panther. Just scroll back up, that's why. Chicago, how are you feeling about it? With the injuries, with the issues.
They don't have a coach.
They don't have a coach. A team that doesn't have a head coach. I mean, Kyle should be looking to sack himself. Like, they don't have. They're literally running off of an OC and a DC and a general manager.
And remember, it's an OC. It's an OC that they only had like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
But then again, we have seen Caleb Williams playing a lot better under that OC.
And that's absolutely fine. And, I'm not saying that he's not going to get better, but he's still playing with training wheels because he's still a rookie. He's still going to make mistakes. We still have some of the Avengers. It's weird saying that considering how much we sucked this year, but Purdy still had a really good season. Like, let's be honest. Like, the 49ers are losing, but it's not because of Brock Purdy.
It's Infinity War. It's not Endgame.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So it's almost like in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes went, "I am inevitable." Literally, half the 49ers. Like, we think we're going to win. We think we're going to win, and Patrick literally just puts his gauntlet on, snaps his fingers, and half of that 49ers squad just goes down injured.
I love that metaphor.
Purdy went for the heart instead of the head.
Yeah, exactly.
We thought we'd won. We went for the heart.
If we would have gone for the head, right, it would have been Al-Shaair, and there would have been flags everywhere. So it's like, is it 10 yards for a illegal hit or roughing the passer?
15.
15. There we go. So it would have got. We would have lost eventually quicker. But yeah, I still think it's going to be a tight game. I think this is going to be the tightest game of the weekend because the 49ers are going to play very conservatively.
49ers are 4-point favorites.
Who else?
To the bookies. The Niners 4-point favorites.
Yeah, but in most games this season, because we're still living off, having the superstar lineup that we had, I think a lot of the games have gone into this season being favourites. I think, 4 is probably accurate. I think it might be a field goal. I don't think we'll have it in the bag. I think it could come down to like the last play or the last drive.
When the fixtures came out this season, the Niners were favourites in every game.
Yeah.
And the Patriots were favourites in 0 of their games.
Yeah.
This is also a low-key rivalry game as well between the two franchises. In the 1980s, you had like the genuine media feud between the great Bill Walsh and the great Mike Ditka. That was huge throughout the 80s. If you know anything about like NFL, those two Hall of Fame coaches hated each other. Yeah. And then Jim Harbaugh played for the Bears, and then he went to go coach the 49ers. And don't forget as well, it was against the Bears that Colin Kaepernick kind of like made his entrance onto the NFL scene. So this has been a historic kind of like battle between these two franchises over the years. So it's going to be really interesting. Obviously not in their prime. They're kind of in different stages of their life cycle. But I think it's going to be an interesting game and a lot more closer than we thought it was going to be earlier on in the season when we were winning.
Just out of interest, Phil, do you remember the last time we played the Bears?
Was it? Hold on. Was Mariota still quarterback?
Trey Lance's first game. Monsoon.
Jesus Christ. The monsoon. That was the monsoon. I thought we played the Commanders in the monsoon.
No. There was 2 seasons after that.
It was a 9-3 game, wasn't it? You lost.
Yeah, that was the Commanders. It was the first game of the season. A couple of seasons ago. It was Trey Lance's first game as starter. It was a monsoon and we lost.
9-3.
No, that was the
season like 0-4 as well.
That was the Commanders. That was the Commanders game where it was 9-3 when we won.
Yeah.
2 seasons later, first game of the season in Chicago, not in San Francisco. We played Chicago first game of the season in a monsoon and we lost by a touchdown. I think that it was the we started like I think we were like 2-2 after 4 games or something, and then we went on a massive winning streak.
Look how far we've come since. I mean, back then Trey Lance was a starting quarterback with hair, and now it's a third stringer with no hair. So like life comes at you fast in the NFL.
Chargers are going to Kansas.
Let's go Chargers! Let's go Chargers!
I think Chargers could win that.
I was about to say I think Chargers could cause it. Kansas are 4-point favorite at the minute. I could see.
So it would be.
I could see Chargers causing a little bit of upset there.
I think if the Chargers were home, I'd fancy them a lot more. But
I was about to ask you, would you like to wave your towel very quickly? As it's Steelers are hosting the Browns, so we've got to give Shane a little bit of shout, being that he is a closet Steelers fan, and we all know it.
Yeah, maybe I should send him this for Christmas.
Yes. Right. Teams on bye this week: Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Commanders, Ravens, and the Texans.
Tell you what, Shane, comment if you want this for Christmas.
No, Shane, don't comment if you want it for Christmas. Right. Shano's special. Obviously, Shano's not here, so we're handing on to the reins onto our excellent gambler who won 600 quid this weekend on betting.
Yeah, but that was mainly on horses, but you know. So I'm going to start. These are all on Paddy Power, just like Shane, because I'm the one that got him on Paddy Power in the first place. Paddy Power, if you want to compensate me for that.
We are looking for sponsorships.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with one for tonight's game, and that is Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs to both score a touchdown.
Hold on, Shane's trying to phone me.
And that is 5-2.
Nice. Okay. 5-2 for Gibbs and Montgomery, is it?
No, Gibbs and Jacobs.
Apparently, we're going to be getting Shane soon.
Okay. My next one is Atlanta Falcons versus the Minnesota Vikings, and that is Aaron Jones and Bijan Robinson to both score one touchdown each, and that is also 5-2. Another one in that game, which I quite like, is Minnesota Vikings to win and 50+ total match points at 9-4.
No.
Okay.
And finally, we are going to go to the Los Angeles Chargers at their Kansas City Chiefs. And on that game, they randomly have again. I'm on that game, but I'm going to go for a Buffalo Bills Rams thing because they have that on the game. And that is Cooper Kupp and James Cook, one touchdown each, 6-1.
I like that. James Cook and Cooper Rush. Cooper Kupp. I was about to say.
Cooper Kupp and James Cook, a touchdown each, 6-1. They are baby's bets for the week.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, baby's bets works.
Ooh, I like that.
All right. Baby's bets. I can't remember if it's Bob.
I need to admit, Shane did come up with that, not me.
Baby's bets. Yeah, I like that. As I did say, I am trying to work on a couple of sponsorships for the show at the moment as well. So I'd love that. So Paddy Power, if you want to give us, a bit of free reign, a bit of advertising.
Shane's actually just come up saying, that's my segment, keep your hands off it.
Hopefully we'll be a foursome again on Monday's show as always.
Also stick that towel in the bin.
It's going on the back of your. It's going to be sitting just here, isn't it? On the door over your right shoulder.
I know. I'm going to wave at every show.
Oh mate, I'm having mine sat wrong side. If I move that way, that's it. I have mine sat under the Patriots flag, I think. Right. Anyway, enough of that one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much as always for watching, tuning in, listening, commenting, etc., etc. You'll be able to download this show tomorrow from Spotify or wherever you get your listening devices from. Our wrap came out. Thank you very much for joining us and tuning into us this year who have started. Been a great year for us wrap-wise. Quite impressed with the numbers that come up. But we'll be back Monday, 8:30. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Stay safe all.